What's up, it's Nez, and hello everyone, and welcome to... Line? So I was scrolling through Steam the other day, and then I saw this thing on the new releases. It's a free-to-play horror visual novel. Huh, where have we heard that before? The art style looked creepy, and the music definitely sounds creepy. So I guess here we are playing this game. Let's see what it's about. When I regain my consciousness, I realize I'm in a public bathroom. But it's not a normal public bathroom. It's a public bathroom in hell! Maybe. The bathroom seems to extend outward forever, infinitely like an optical illusion. The dim light bulbs are suspended on flimsy plastic strings. They gutter in and out intermittently, unaware of themselves. My head feels heavy. Are you guys comfortable with this type of narrating? Because I'd rather not have another DDLC on my hands. Why does it hurt so much? Stress. Wait, what? Stress? Why are we stressful? I sigh and hold my hand against my temple. I can feel it pulsing beneath my fingertips. Do we have anything in our brain? Something squirming around? Gross. Human bodies really are gross. They're bags of flesh that contain all sorts of stuff. Bones and blood, and guts and goo, with hearts that beat and lungs that shudder and bladders filled up with amber urine. Okay, that's a mental picture I didn't need. Thinking about it makes me want to dig my fingernails deep into my skin and dig it all out. But I bet that would look gross too. Maybe I should pull my eyes out first, so I don't need to see all the blood as it splatters on the tiles. Game, are you okay? But if I know anything about biology, which I don't, I'm rubbish at school, blood doesn't stay red for very long. When it's exposed to the air, it oxidizes, I think, and then it starts to turn brown. Then it turns black. I try to imagine what it would look like if this endless dingy bathroom was stained with my blood. I don't feel anything in particular. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel bad. Maybe that's because it hasn't actually happened. It's nothing more than a silly fantasy. Yeah, that's right, aside from the never-ending bathroom we're in. My head is still hurting. My footsteps fall against the floor. When did I start walking? I don't know. I feel like I've been walking for years. The walls and the floor and the stalls and the sinks and the dryers and the bins and the mirrors continue to repeat over and over again, in a loop. A stuck videotape. We still have some of Jazz's old videotapes from when she was a kid. It's mostly Disney stuff, Cinderella and Snow White. My parents aren't too well off, so we had to make do with our battered old VCR long after DVD players became the norm. Our VCR was like a monster. It made horrible noises whenever you put tape in there, and it had cannibalistic tendencies. It liked to spit out tapes with the film reels leaking out. When I was young, it used to scare me a little. Lots of things scare me. I turned my head glancing this way and that. What the fuck was up with the music and the atmosphere? There are 5 sinks lined up neatly against the wall, complete with silvery taps and soap dispensers. Somebody stole in a roll of toilet paper and left it soaking in one of the basins. That is not environmentally friendly. The paper flops limply over the side of the bowl. It's a bit sad. The taps are turned off, but the water still drips from their faulty heads. They're leaking. The lone roll of loo paper is starting to turn soft. It's collapsing in on itself like something rotten. I keep walking. I walk past the sinks. At least I think I walk past the sinks, but when I turn my head I can see them again right in the corners of my eyes. Uh-oh. 5 sinks, chipped and cracked with soap dispensers and that same roll of toilet paper lying in the rightmost basin. The roll of paper is still being waterboarded by the faulty tap. I walk by trying to ignore it, but when I glance to my right once more, there it is again. 5 sinks, 5 basins, 1 roll of toilet paper decomposing slowly. The toilet paper looks worse every time I see it. White paper begins to flake away from the cardboard skeleton. It melts away. I feel like I'm melting away too. I don't know how long I've been walking. My feet are crammed inside my shoes. My toes are pushed unpleasantly against the tips so they rub red raw. That's when I realize I'm wearing my old white heels from Aunt Shirley's wedding. Not her last wedding, the wedding before that. I must have been 9 or 10 back then. I'm 15 now and my feet have done a fair bit of growing. No wonder these shoes hurt so much. My feet weren't made for them. Not the feet I have right now at any rate. Why are we wearing these old ass shoes and where the fuck are we? Why am I wearing them? It hurts. But I keep walking. I can't not keep walking. I'm afraid something bad will happen if I stop. I don't want to stop then. But suddenly, alarmingly, I'm aware I'm not alone. Hello? What the fuck? Why is our stress going up? There is something behind me. But I don't know what that something is. I look back over my shoulder. My breath catches in my throat. Everything has been swallowed up in a musty, impenetrable darkness. The darkness smells like the inside of a walk-in wardrobe that hasn't been walked into for a very long time. I tremble. My footsteps strike against the tiles over and over. My heart beats inside my chest. It knocks against my rib cage. My feet hurt. They hurt oh so much. I think they've started to bleed. Sores and blisters run along the backs of my feet. I can feel welts in the grooves between my toes. They're all bursting. Give it time and my blood will turn burgundy, then dark red, then black. Aren't burgundy and dark red the same thing? Everything in here is the same. Everything repeats over and over again. The light bulb, the stalls, the sinks, the taps, the toilet paper, the dryers, and the tiles in the mirrors and... The mirrors? What's in the mirrors? Why is our stress going up? There's something strange about the mirrors. Uh-oh. But no, it isn't the mirrors. It's the girl inside them! My white shoes slosh when I come to a halt. Let's not stop walking. Let's keep walking. Everything smells. It smells of mold and urine and my own bodily fluids. But the girl who looks back at me in the mirror, her fingers gripping the rim of the sink so tightly the knuckles turn white, isn't me. I stare. She stares back. Questions run through my head. Where am I? How did I get here? What is this place? I was me when I first started walking, I think, but the more I walked in these two small shoes, the less like me I became. I started to change. I just didn't realize it. Not until I saw myself in the mirrors. This girl. Hello? I reach forwards, my fingers brush the surface of the mirror. Who's that girl I see staring straight back at me? Why doesn't my reflection tell me what the fuck's going on? It's sticky and it makes me feel sick, but my feet are sticky too, so it doesn't matter. The girl looks like me. She has the same hair, the same eyes, the same nose, the same ears, and the same lips. But she isn't me, of course. Of course, game. The fuck? Something changed? Her expression changed? My muscles tense beneath her skin. Her face responds. It smiles when I smile and frowns when I frown. Coraline? This face is mine. But I know that it isn't. It can't be. I'm not her. She's not me. Line? When I speak, an alien voice comes from my mouth. My breath catches in my throat. And then... why did you get so stressed? I feel something brush against the back of my neck. There's nothing in the mirror, but there's something behind me. Girl, why couldn't you have warned us? We're gonna die now. I don't know what it is, but it's something cold. Even colder than the roll of toilet paper soaking in the sink on the far right. I don't know how long it's been soaking for. I don't know how long I've been here. I don't know how long I've been her. I don't know anything really, but... Why are you crying? Why is your stress up to 15? I do know that this is it. This is what? The end. There will be no more repetitions. No more walls and floors and stalls and sinks and dryers and bins and mirrors. There's just me. Hello? Me in the darkness and the bad thing that lurks within it. Behind me. Breathing against my neck. Welcome home, Line. It seems to say with invisible teeth encrusted with algae. We missed you. But that's not fair. They've got the wrong girl. I'm not her. I'm not Line. Oh, fucking hell, what the fuck? Hey, Squirt, rough night? I root through the bread bin, unearthing the last 2 slices of Warbutton's half and half. One stress, we just got bread! Naturally, they're the crust, the cast-offs nobody wants. I glare at Jazz. She's sitting at the kitchen table eating her own slice of toast, not the crust. She saved those for me. Hey, what a bitch! Oh, thanks a lot. No problem, honey. Why are you so selfish? I wonder. Maybe because I'm a horrible person. Well, I know that. I slot my bread, crust, into the toaster inside. I feel worked up. I've been worked up ever since I woke up. I was worked up when I was brushing my teeth. I was worked up when I was combing my hair. I was worked up when I was putting on my skirt and sliding up my socks and buttoning up my shirt. Now I'm worked up as I wait for my incredibly appetizing breakfast to finish toasting. I fish a knife from the cutlery drawer and peer inside the inner workings of the toaster. That's kinda dangerous. I peer a little too closely actually, and my hair nearly gets caught inside it. I draw back startled. Jazz snorts. Well done, genius. Shut up. I stick my tongue out at her. She sticks her tongue back. I glance back at the toaster, but I don't lean in quite so closely this time. I tap my feet against the floor and sigh. What's taking so long? You going anywhere in a hurry? I have to go to school. I don't know why you're so eager. I always hated school. Yeah, but I have exams coming up. I pick up the knife and begin to prod at the tops of my slowly toasting crust. You shouldn't do that. You'll electrocute yourself. Like you care. Whoa, these two really fucking hate each other. I do care, actually. And you'll definitely care when 1 million watts of electricity are coursing through your thick skull. I'll survive. That's what you think. God, why do kids think they know everything? I'm not a kid. Please. Jazz tuts and rolls her eyes. She does this a lot. It's very effective. Jazz wears a lot of makeup and she's good at applying it. Her eyes are particularly expressive. Jazz is pretty already. She doesn't really need makeup, but the makeup makes her even prettier. According to Jazz, putting on makeup is the sole thing that gets her out of bed in the mornings. I guess there's not much else for her to do. She doesn't have a job, she just sits around the house all day. What a bum. Sometimes I wish I could do that. I thought you were meant to be the smart one in the family, Lynne. I'm not smart, I suck. Literally. Piss off. Jazz is the one who sucks, and that is literal. The bulge of her belly is proof enough. Not that you get pregnant like that, I know that much. I might be in secondary school, but I'm not thick. Not that thick, anyway. The toaster pings. My bread crusts pop up like I should be happy to see them. I'm not. Piss off. I poke the crust with the tip of my knife again. They don't reply. Jazz does. Why are you talking to your breakfast, you crazy girl? I thought you said you didn't want to be late to school. I don't. Then why don't you get a move on? You'll miss your train. I know. I grab a plate and slide my crust onto it. I smear butter on the crust an inch thick like this'll somehow make them taste better, and scoop a lemon curd for good measure. The lemon curd mixes with the gooey, bright yellow butter. The end result looks kind of gross, but it tastes fine. I take my plate to the kitchen table. I stumble on my way there, twisting my ankle on thin air. Oh great, we're getting even more stressed! I curse under my breath. Shit. Hey Lynne, are you sure you're okay? You seem a little out of it. A little, I guess. Bad dream? Yeah. That doesn't quite cover it. We're in some sort of nightmare. Endless purgatory, if you will. Terrible, more like. My feet still hurt. I checked them when I woke up this morning, trembling, to see whether they were still in one piece or not. I was afraid they'd be bloodied stumps, the little bones all broken from being forced into shoes too small for me. They looked fine, but that was 10 minutes ago. What about now? My toes curl against the inside of my shoes. Jazz stares at me. Does she think I've gone totally mental? Maybe I have. You were tossing and turning like the girl from The Exorcist this morning, Lynne. You woke me up. So that explains why Jazz is up so early. She doesn't usually surface until gone noon. She doesn't have to. Not since she dropped out of sixth form college. All she does is practice her makeup in front of her vanity mirror. Our vanity mirror, actually, since we share the same bedroom, eat cereal, and watch the Jeremy Kyle show. I stare at my crust. My crust stare back, slathered in butter and lemon curd. My stomach churns. I'm sorry, Jazz. It's alright, I already had my revenge. The bread. Mm-hmm. Jazz coils a strand of hair about her finger. She looks smug. So, what are you gonna be doing today? More studying? Yeah, even more stress. Don't mention the S word. Now, you've got your GCSEs coming up in what? 3 weeks? You better get cracking. I bite into the bread crust smeared with butter and lemon curd. The butter is sweet, oily, and fatty, while the lemon curd is sharp and sweet. It's thick, sticky. It feels like it's clogging up my throat. Maybe I put a little too much on. You know, Mom and Dad expect a lot from you. Don't let them down. What about you, bitch? I feel sick. I definitely used too much lemon curd. Jazz, please. What? It's the truth. After I turned out to be a monumental fuck-up, the least you can do is not fail your GCSEs. You're supposed to be the smart one, remember? That's what they say, but... My voice trails off. My cheeks are smeared with toast crumbs and bits of lemon curd. They feel oily. Whatever happened to going to school? I swallow. I don't want to talk about it. Well, you'll probably be fine. You don't have to try to do worse in your GCSEs than I did. Yeah, but it's different now. You could retake your exams. I can't. Mm-hmm. Sucks to be you. Jazz sounds so cheerful it makes me kind of want to punch her, but I know I can't. Not anymore. We used to fight a lot when we were younger, with hair pulling and scratching, but... Now Jazz is pregnant. I'd feel a little guilty about slapping her. You can't hit pregnant women. Even if the pregnant woman is your sister, who isn't really, quote-unquote, a woman. I don't think she is anyway. She's only 19. She's still a teenager, technically. I click my lemon curdy tongue against the roof of my mouth. I should probably get going. You probably should. Don't drop out of school before your exams start, otherwise what would be the point? Sometimes I think Jazz derives happiness from my suffering. She really is a rotten big sister. She's always been like that. She used to bully me relentlessly when we were little. She was always kicking me beneath the dinner table, hitting me with the TV remote, and whispering creepy stories into my ear at night when I was trying to sleep. She told me Santa wasn't real when I was 4. What a bitch! I cried. I cried a lot. And then she went and got herself knocked up. And now she's so heavily pregnant I can't argue back when she starts being a bitch, because I'd feel guilty. Maybe because she's smarter than her GCSE results give her credit for. I drop my plate in the sink. It's coated with crumbs and a smear of buttery lemon. What are you going to do all day, Jazz? Watch the Jeremy Kyle show, probably. Don't you ever get sick of that? Nope. I don't like that show. I think it's mean. It's the sort of show that makes fun of people like Jazz. The audience watches these poor, sad, broken people pour out their guts and argue with each other and break down into tears, and then they laugh and cheer and applaud like it's something funny. It isn't funny. It's real people's lives, and I hate it. But Jazz doesn't seem to care. I know it's mean, but I'm not in the show. Why does it matter? I run my dirty plate beneath the lukewarm water and frown. It just isn't very nice. Says you. Didn't you give that girl in your class a black eye a few months ago? She deserved it. She called you a slut. At least we kinda got some sibling loyalty here. She might have been right. Jazz sprawls at her belly. It strains beneath her shirt like a large obscene balloon. Maybe I am a slut. Aw, she's crying. This is why I can't argue with Jazz anymore. Not even when she steals my apricot yogurts. She doesn't fight back like she used to. The wind tugs at the hem of my school skirt. I hold it down with one hand and use the other to support the straps of my beat-up old messenger bag. My bag's falling apart and it doesn't close properly now, but I can't afford a new one. I'll have to bear with it, just like I have to bear with Jazz's hand-me-down uniforms and these old scuffled trainers. At least they're not the shoes I wore to Aunt Shirley's first wedding. Yeah, those were the ones that we wore in our dream, or nightmare, whatever that was. I click my tongue against the roof of my mouth. Why am I still thinking about that dream? It must have left an impression on me. That's rare. I have bad dreams on an almost daily basis, but the details start slipping away the moment I open my eyes. It's definitely unusual for me to still remember not just the gist, but the specific ins and outs of my dreams while I wait on platform number 2 at Strawberry Hill Station for my train. There are a few other people waiting, glancing alternately between their watches and the electronic signboard. Rush hour in London is never pleasant. The trains are always packed. I hate going to school, especially with a bulky messenger bag to manipulate. Once I hit a small child in the face with my bag when I was scrambling onto the train. He cried and his mother started scolding me very, very loudly in front of all those businessmen. What do you think you're doing, you clumsy girl? His nose is bleeding. You could have caused some serious damage. What do you have to say? By the end of this woman's tirade, I was almost crying too. I couldn't cry, of course, because I wasn't a little kid. And people don't think it's cute when teenagers cry. They think it's pathetic. I was 13 back then. I'm even older now. I don't feel any wiser though. My GCSEs are coming up soon, then I'll be finished with school for good. I won't need to ride on a cramped train and have 7 in the morning ever again, unless I decide to go to college like Jazz did. I don't think I'd go to the same college as Jazz though, because she was studying health and beauty. That's a vocational subject. I think Jazz is pretty good at health and beauty, especially the beauty part. She knows all about getting her nails trimmed and how to curl people's hair, but Dad wasn't very happy about it. He kept banging on saying she was wasting her life. Wasting her education. We've given you so many opportunities, and you fling them back in our faces. Why can't you be like your sister? I don't know why anybody would want to be like me. I don't want them to be like me. But at the same time, I glanced to the right. I half expect to see a glint of metal taps in my peripheral vision, complete with basins, but I don't. Oh shit, it's the girl from our dream! Nightmare, whatever! Instead, I see a girl around my age, but not quite my age. I know her. We're in the same form group. We've been in the same form group ever since I started at Gray's Court School. She's a girl who looks a lot like me, with straight black hair and brown eyes, but there's more to it than that. It's the arrangement of the features of her face, and the shape of them too. Her eyes, her nose, her ears, her lips. She looks so much like me, it's a little creepy. She looks so much like me that Mrs. Madley, our form teacher, did a double take when she saw us in the oversized Gray's Court uniforms on our first day of 7th year. She asked us in a very exaggerated tone if we were twins. Like being a twin is something special. We're not, of course. We're not related at all, which makes it even more creepy why we look the same. Well, we're probably related in some way if you go back far enough, but the blood ties between us are so weak that it might be about 99.9999999% water. It doesn't help that she has the same name as me. Aha! That is not coincidental. A similar name at least. My name is Lynne. She's called Lynne. She's me, but a me who reached into the scramble box and pulled out an extra vowel. Her name would be worth more than mine if she tried to play it on the board. Like she's so much better than I am. And in a way, I guess she is. Her school bag is nice and shiny, so are her shoes. Her uniforms are always ironed and her tights never have any holes. She's like me, but better. Lynne with an E. She'll probably do better in her GCSEs than I will too. That's a given. Lynne is really smart. Creepy? I look at her. I look at her for a little too long, as I often do, and she lifts her head. Her eyes meet mine. Her gaze hurts. I feel like a needle's digging through the back of my skull. A short, sharp pain splits through the side of my head. I wince. I know this is going to sound petty, but I really, really hate that girl. Hey Lynne, guess what Aki bought me? I don't know. What did Aki buy you? Well... Susie smiles smugly, her head resting on her hand, her elbow resting on her desk. Her legs are crossed, but she keeps uncrossing and recrossing them and adjusting the hem of her skirt. Susie's kind of like that. She's one of those girls who's lucky enough to be considered kind of pretty despite all of her freckles, and she likes flaunting it. Her face is nice, I guess, but I think her thighs are the prettiest part of her body. Her thighs are slender, milky, and white, and she wears her school skirts like a little too short so she can show them off, even in the winter. I'm kind of jealous. Susie's cute enough as it is. Even her name is cute, though her full name Susanna is a little stuffy. She doesn't need to make herself any cuter. Being her friend is kinda bad for my self-esteem. She's had way more boyfriends than I have. It's not fair. Not that it's hard to have more boyfriends than me. I haven't had any. That's not much of a competition, is it? Like I could ever compete with Susie. He bought me a maid uniform. A real maid uniform. Oh, really? That's cool, I guess. I try to sound enthusiastic. It's hard work. I've had to listen to Susie talking to me, talking at me more like, about her dreamy Japanese boyfriend for the last month and a half. Aki. She met him online when she was doing a live stream. He contacted her and said he could compose music, and he knew a little bit about idol culture. And if she was really serious about being a performer, then he could be her manager. I don't think this guy is really into you, Susie. He sounds like a scammer. Now he's dating her. Well, dating in the loosest possible way, since he lives in Japan and we live in Richmond. It is cool, right? I'm going to wear it in one of my live streams. Neat. Yeah, I picked it out myself. It's kind of expensive, but I mean, Aki has money, so... Susie smiles and shrugs her shoulders coyly. Having a rich boyfriend must be nice. It must be nice to have any boyfriend, full stop. Though I guess Aki's more of a man than a boy. He lives so far away and Susie have no hopes of ever kissing and cuddling. Well, all the boys in our year group are stupid. The boys in our form are especially brain dead. Bradley Hurd tried to give himself a tattoo with his protractor and a blue barrel pen in maths. He managed to give himself a makeshift tattoo, a lopsided wonky one, but he also gave himself blood poisoning. Craig Bentley's always making lecherous comments and trying to peer up girls' skirts when they walk upstairs. I don't like them. I don't like them at all. In fact, I hate them. Girls my age are meant to be interested in relationships, I think. That's what all the teen books and movies say. I'm not, though. Maybe there's something wrong with me. That's what Jazz says. She had a lot of boyfriends when she was my age too, but I don't think she ever really liked them. Sometimes I've tried to imagine it, but letting a boy like Bradley or Craig touch me within their dirty, smudgy fingers makes me feel sick. If I had a boyfriend, I'd rather have a boyfriend like Aki, who lives far away. I'd never have to worry about him peering up my skirt or trying to grope me. Not like anybody would want to. Aki's so generous. Susie's still stuck in La La Land. She's mooning over her boyfriend like he's the second coming of Christ. I can ask him to buy me anything, you know? Like literally, he just jumps at the chance like it's some huge honor. Asian guys are always so eager to please. I think it sounds weird. Oh, Lynne. Susie tuts. She looks sympathetic. You'll understand when you start dating. Stupid boys like Bradley and Craig are rude and mean and make gross comments, but real men know how to treat their girlfriends right. Like with money, apparently? Why is that? Cause they know they're lucky to have us. I mean, look at it this way. I'm a cute young girl. I'm in the prime of my youth. He, meanwhile, is in his 30s. Oh, Susie, I think you should let Aki go. Seriously. Well, he says he's in his 20s, but I don't believe it. I've seen the photos. He's old and he's not really super attractive. I think he's cute, but there are way better guys out there. Why should I be interested in him? Oh, Susie, you're manipulating him. You're manipulating Aki. Because you like each other. I guess, but that's not it. It isn't. Of course not. Don't be daft. It's about give and take. He wants a cute young girlfriend, and I want somebody who'll spoil me and buy me nice things. Everybody wins. But what do your parents think about Aki? What they don't know doesn't have to hurt them. Aren't they suspicious about all the packages he keeps sending you? You worry too much, Lynne. One stress. Okay, we're up to 21. Susie looks at me pityingly. She always looks at me like that, like I'm slow in the head. So what if she's had a couple of boyfriends? That doesn't make her any more mature than I am. But judging by the way she talks, you'd think she was far older. You should live a little. That's why you've never had a boyfriend yourself. I don't think I want one. You will. Give it time. Okay, even more stress. Like it's a foregone conclusion. Susie starts peering at her fingernails. She turns them this way and that, examining them beneath the lights of the classroom. Her fingernails are perfect, just like the rest of her. They're manicured, painted with nude gloss. She never ever bites them. Who has the time to worry about their appearances so much? Susie, I guess. Susie's been doing live streams from her bedroom for a couple years now, in her attempts to become a Japanese idol. An English angel with white skin and blue eyes. It seems to be working for her. I think she's actually pretty popular. Not that I watch her streams. It'd be kind of voyeuristic, I think. And anyway, who wants to watch their best friend since kindergarten wear cat ears or a kimono? I guess she has a new costume in her repertoire now, courtesy of her boyfriend/manager. Good for Susie. At least she's happy. She looks happy anyway, and isn't that basically the same thing? Where did the music go? Dad and Jazz are arguing again. Oh god, wait, what? I don't think it's Jazz's fault. She probably didn't want to argue, least of all with Dad. Jazz used to bully me a lot when we were little, but I don't think she's a nasty person. Not really. Even if she is, she certainly wouldn't try to pick a fight with our dad. Dad's a lot bigger than both of us, and he's scary too. He'd be scary even if he didn't have such a quick temper. Dad's shoulders are broad and his hands are very large. They're scarred from years of manual labor. He works in construction, has done ever since I can remember. It's kind of good Dad works in construction. Usually he's too tired and dusty to do anything other than sigh and grunt and lie on the sofa watching TV when he comes home from work. But that's just most of the time. Not all of the time. Sometimes he comes home in really foul moods, his hands cracked and muddy, the palms bleeding, and then he starts shouting. He never starts shouting right away though. He's always quiet at first, like a volcano before it erupts. That makes it even scarier. Dad isn't a bad person. He doesn't mean to lose his temper. I don't think he wants to shout at Mom or insult Jazz or make me cry. He does it because he's stuck in an exhausting job he doesn't like, but he never went to college so he can't get anything better. According to him, the job market's in the shitter right now. His words, not mine. And there's no way he can even hope of getting anything halfway decent. That's why he keeps telling me I should study. I have to do well. I have to succeed. I have to make him proud. I think what he really means is don't end up like me. That's why he got so angry at Jazz when she broke the news about her pregnancy. Maybe he thought it was some kind of failure on his part. Or maybe he thought he'd done everything he could for us and Jazz was throwing his efforts back at his face. He argued with Jazz on an almost daily basis since then. Jazz isn't meek like me and she doesn't get scared easily, so she always argues back. Dad started to go at Jazz as soon as he got home today, and then she tried to defend herself and things got worse from there. Mom asked Dad to stop, but he just shoved her away. Stay out of this, Marigold! It has nothing to do with you! Mom tried to say it did have something to do with her, because Jazz is her daughter, and then Dad gave her this look and Mom hid herself away in the kitchen. Dad and Jazz are still arguing even now. I can hear them downstairs, their voices echoing through the house. So you just sat home and did nothing again? You're wasting your life! Well, what do you expect me to do? I'm 6 months pregnant. I don't want to risk hurting the baby. The baby. It's always the fucking baby. You should have thought about that before you gave yourself to the first man that asked. I already told you it was a party. I was drunk. And that makes it all the better, does it? I wasn't saying that. I don't want to hear it. I didn't raise my only daughter to be a slut. Hello, Dad? You have a second daughter? I wish the walls of this house weren't so thin. I can hear them yelling even though I'm in the upstairs bathroom. I think the neighbors can hear too. We've had noise complaints more than once. The arguing got so bad at one point Jazz moved out to live with one of her friends for 3 weeks. Mom cried and thought she'd never come back, but she did. Dad cried too. He hugged Jazz and called her his baby girl and he said he was sorry. He was so sorry. He said he'd never shout at her like that again. And yet here we are. He was wrong. I stare at the ceiling. The beige paint is peeling and mold is sprouting in the corners. The water now lukewarm pools around my body. The tap is faulty and drips over and over again into the already full bathtub. It's not loud enough. Not loud enough to drown out the noise. There's always so much noise. I sink back in the tub, submerging myself completely. I want to hide from it all. Everything. There are rolls of fat on my tummy and my legs need shaving. They're nicked here and there with small scars from my last attempt. I have PE tomorrow. It's my favorite lesson. I can't stand it. I don't like getting changed in front of my classmates. I always worry, compared to everyone else, that my body looks all wrong. I close my eyes. The water flows about my head. It worms its way inside my ears. It's harder to hear Dad and Jazz like this. The sound is distorted, like it's happening on an alien planet millions of light years away. I think I'd prefer that. I'd like to live in space if it meant I could be alone. No Dad, no Mom, no Jazz. No Susie. No Line either. I wonder what Line's house is like. I bet it isn't like this.